Hey everyone, and welcome to Icons and Outlaws, your all-access backstage pass to the legends of the music world. I am your host, Jonathan Sayer.
I am Jeffrey.
I'm Logan.
And this is episode 6, Michael Jackson, part 2. Now remember to stay to the end of the episode to listen to our version of Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana that you can find on Spotify and our own curated Icons and Outlaws playlist. You can find everything about the show over at iconsandoutlaws.com, and make sure to subscribe and tell your friends. Jeff, how you feeling today, buddy?
I'm so tired.
You're moving, right?
Barely.
Yeah?
Yeah. We just moved, and I've gone back and forth between houses probably 8 times now.
Yeah.
And up and down stairs multiple times. Everything's in boxes. I can't feel my feet. So we'll go with it. If I sound a little tired, I can't feel my feet
when I move.
I'm not under the influence. I'm just exhausted.
Well, speaking of under the influence, I do want to apologize to all of our listeners for the last week's episode, Michael Jackson Part 1. I was super hungover, and I was feeling rough, but we got through it.
That we did.
You know? So today it is Part 2 of Michael Jackson. Of course, you can go back and listen to the first part there to find out where we left off. In fact, where we left off, we were talking about Thriller. Yeah, boy. So when Thriller was released in November of 1982, it didn't seem to have a single direction. Instead, it arguably sounded like many singles. Like, instead of just having, it wasn't like a conceptual album. It was like this song and then this song, and nothing really sounded, like it was not one cohesive thing. Does that make sense? I mean, you've heard it, right? Yeah. But it became apparent that this was precisely what Michael intended Thriller to be. All right. Oh. And God, was it good. A brilliant collection of songs meant as hits, each designed for a particular audience in mind. Michael put out Billie Jean for the dancers and Beat It for the rockers, and then followed each jam with amazing videos to enhance his allure and his inaccessibility. Oh,
can we talk about the knife fight in Beat It? Where they had their wrists tied together, and then they had little butter knives in the other hand. They were like, going back and forth. Yeah, that was hardcore stuff.
That was hardcore. They looked tough.
You think you could win a fight like that, Logan? We tied your wrist to somebody else,
tied together,
gave you a butter knife and said, "Good luck."
That would suck.
Yeah, a little bit.
So good though. So these songs had a life of their own. Thriller was almost called Starlight. The lyric Thriller in the track of the same name was originally Starlight. The decision to change it was down to a marketing appeal. So initially they were going to call it Starlight.
That's interesting.
So instead of saying, "'Cause this is Thriller," it was, "'Cause this is Starlight," which does not sound remotely good. Yeah, it's...
Wow.
So there you go with that one.
Didn't know that.
So this wonderful article from Rolling Stone says, "Wanna Be Startin Somethin" had the sense of a vitalizing nightmare in its best lines. "You're stuck in the middle and the pain is thunder. Still they hate you. You're a vegetable. They eat off you. You're a vegetable." That's what he says. He's like, "You're a vegetable. You're a baby." Yeah, you know that part? You know?
Yeah.
So Billie Jean, in the meantime, exposed how the interaction between the artist's fame and the outside world might invoke soul-killing dishonor. In the lyrics, "People always told me, be careful of what you do, because the lie becomes the truth."
Yeah, that wasn't it. It's mainly about like a girl lying, saying she's having a baby that's his, but it's not.
Yeah. That's what that's what everyone kind of thinks the premise of it is.
You notice the theme, the reoccurring theme? There's that. There's Dirty Diana, which you can listen to our copy. But, Dirty Diana is about a girl basically raping a guy, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. He's got some reoccurring themes with women there. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's messed up. So Jackson sings these songs possibly thinking of paternity charge from a while back.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the one. And Beat It was pure anger, a rousing depiction of violence as a male stance, a social inheritance that might be overcome. It also almost caught the studio on fire, by the way, when the one and only Eddie Van Halen recorded...
I was going to quiz Logan.
Well, when he recorded his solo, the sound of his guitar caused one of the studio speakers to actually catch on fire.
That's pretty...
Do you think it was a 5150?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it was a 3030.
Do you know what a 51... You don't know?
No, I have no
We'll
idea.
get to that when we do Van Halen.
Hold on, what's a 5150?
Just, I don't know. Is it a speaker? It's an amp. It's an amp.
Ooh.
Yes, it's his signature.
It's Van Halen's signature amp?
Signature amp.
That's his signature
So what is the
amp.
5150, like, what does that mean?
Correct.
You know, I don't know what the
Is it like the amperage
meaning
for
behind
it,
it. I
or
just remember
input
everybody
output?
in the back in the day were like, "Oh, you gotta have a 5150."
Well, I think.
Or is that
Well,
the
I
model
think.
number?
Well, one of Van Halen's albums was called 5150.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think they named that after the album 5150, which I think was like their second or third album, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll talk about them when we do an episode on the great band that they are. You know,
cheesy.
So the video for Beat It, okay, it was set in Los Angeles, Skid Row, okay, and featured up to 80 real-life gang members from the notorious street gangs, the Crips and the Bloods.
Wait a minute, these are real gang members.
If you look at that, those are real gang members.
No kidding.
Could you imagine being the director? Be like, guys, we're gonna tie your wrists together. Here's a Play-Doh knife. Don't hurt each other. We're gonna film it to this music.
Well, it cost $100,000 to make, and I'm going to assume that the majority of that money was given to them to not kill anybody.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like,
That's really. I want to go back and watch it now.
yeah, like, hey guys, we really want you in this video, but don't kill anyone for real. All right, please.
Just for pretend.
Yeah. So Thriller's parts added up to the most improbable kind of art, a work of personal revelation that was also a mass market masterpiece. It's an achievement that will likely never be topped. It was the biggest selling album worldwide in 1983 and became the best selling album of all time in the United States and the best selling album of all time worldwide, selling an estimated 70 million copies.
Oh yeah. Michael was a household name.
Yeah.
For sure.
There was nobody bigger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there wasn't.
It topped the Billboard 200 charts for 37 weeks and was in the top 10 of the 200 for 80 consecutive weeks.
80 weeks.
Yep.
Wow.
And
That's
it was
a lot of money.
yeah, think about that real quick. How many weeks are in a year?
54? 52? 52.
Did you say 74?
I said 54.
Oh,
52.
There's 52, right?
Yeah.
So this thing was in there for almost 2 years.
That's bonkers.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That means every Christmas and every birthday, people were getting Michael CDs or tapes back then.
Absolutely.
Records.
It was the first album to produce 7 Billboard Hot 100 top singles. All right. Thriller is still the highest selling album of all time.
I could see that.
Right. So you know what we're going to do one of these days? I think we should do a bonus of the top selling 25 records of all time.
I kind of like this idea.
Yeah. We should do that.
Can we do a medley cover of one from
Oh my
each?
God.
Like just a 4-minute medley
Boy,
cover?
I love your vigor and your drive, but God, does that sound like a lot of work. Woo!
You can do it.
Listeners, tell us if you want that to happen on
Yeah.
our Facebook page. Let's
see
get
it.
a poll going.
You can subscribe to our Patreon for our bonuses over there, video bonuses and things like that. So, and if we decide to do that one, which I think we will, we'll definitely have that up there.
Who else do you think would be on that list? Just curious.
The top 25. I guess we'll have to talk about it.
Beatles for
The
sure.
Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
The Rolling Stones.
Probably a Madonna. She was pretty big for
Alanis
back in the day.
Morissette.
No, she doesn't come
100%.
close.
She'd be 22.
No.
You don't think?
No, she'll be like 105 on the list.
Well, we'll
Who
talk
else
about
would
it.
be on there?
I don't know. I'm going to say
Rolling Stones.
maybe Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's probably good.
Because remember, we
newer
talked
stuff.
about, we talked a lot about his stuff. So I don't know. We'll definitely talk about it. So Billie Jean was the first video by an African-American artist to air on MTV. The video revealed Jackson's new look of a leather suit, pink shirt, red bow tie, and his signature single white glove. It was a style copied by kids throughout the United States. It caused one school, New Jersey's Bound Brook High, to ban students from coming to class wearing white gloves. So it was so popular that everybody was wearing them.
Yeah. It always reminds me of the movie The Wedding Singer, where he's got the red leather jacket and the glove, and they show up to the party. Mm-hmm. And Adam Sandler's like, Michael, what are you doing here?
He's like, take that off. You look like an idiot. So here's a cool little tidbit here. Toto members, the band Toto, their keyboardist Steve Parcaro co-wrote Human Nature, and Steve Lukather contributed rhythm guitar on Beat It.
Huh. Wow.
So they had members of Toto that came in and actually helped out with some of the songs.
Right,
Do you think
so
they
well.
did it down in Africa with Roxanne?
Doom,
Roxana?
doom, 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 doom.
Or Rosanna, I'm sorry.
Rosanna. Did you know that is considered, that shuffle beat in the beginning is considered one of the hardest beats to play in rock music? No,
Yeah. Well, yeah, the timing.
The shuffling
think of
on
the
that
timing
is
of
so
it's
hard. Yeah.
Nuts.
Love that damn song, though. So on March 25th, 1983, Michael reunited with his brothers for Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever, an NBC television special. The show aired on May 16th to an estimated audience of 47 million people and featured the Jacksons and other Motown stars. Jackson, Michael here, had just performed a medley of greatest hits with his brothers. It was exciting stuff, but for Michael, it just wasn't enough. As his brothers said their goodbyes and left the stage, Michael remained. He stood there. He seemed shy for a moment, trying to find the words to say. And he goes, yeah, He almost whispered, those were good old days. I like those songs a lot, but especially, and then he placed the microphone into the stand with a commanding look and said, I like the new songs. Then, wearing a white glove decorated with rhinestones, he swooped down, picked up a fedora, put it on his head with confidence, and vaulted into Billie Jean. He also debuted his moonwalk dance, which became his signature dance.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is one of Michael's first public acts as a star outside of being in the Jacksons, and it was startlingly clear that he was not only one of the most breathtaking live performers in pop music, but that he could mesmerize the audience, something not seen since the likes of Elvis Presley. Michael had initially turned down the invitation to do the show, believing he had been doing too much television. But at the request of Motown founder and icon, his buddy Berry Gordy, he performed in exchange for an opportunity to do a solo performance, and he killed it. Now, do you remember this at all?
Oh, yeah.
You can look at it, you can find it online. It was seriously, they got done playing, and they're walking off stage, and he's just kind of real shy and real humble. He's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, it's like, and he just kicked into it, dude.
When he did the moonwalk, everybody lost their shit. Like, legit. It was amazing.
And it's still something that, like, even kids nowadays, like on TikTok and stuff like that, they're still doing the moonwalk.
Can you do a moonwalk?
Yeah.
Can you really?
Oh, yeah.
I figured you could.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
I'm telling you, I was in love.
What is the secret behind it? You got to, like, slide.
You got to push off your toes.
But you got to slide them in order, right?
One goes this way, but the other goes that way, and you do this. That's how you push yourself back. So you slide up, you go up on your toe, slide back, and then go off your other toe, slide back. And that's how you do the moonwalk from icons and outlaws. Yay!
See, you guys learned something new.
Yay.
So almost 50 million people saw that show, Michael wrote in his book, Moonwalk. Quote, after that, many things changed. Of course, because not only was he just that guy from the Jacksons, he was Michael Jackson. At this time, Michael was obviously an immensely talented young man. He seemed shy but ambitious and undoubtedly enigmatic. Nobody knew much about his beliefs or sex life. He rarely gave interviews, but he also didn't land himself in scandals, at least at this time. This is early, folks. He did, however, describe himself as a lonely person, especially around the time he made Off the Wall. Former Los Angeles Times music critic Robert Hilburn recently wrote of meeting Michael in 1981 when he was only 23 years old. And that Michael struck him as, quote, one of the most fragile and lonely people I've ever met, almost abandoned. When I asked why he didn't live on his own like his brothers, instead of remaining at his parents' house, he said, oh no, I think I'd die on my own. I'd be so lonely. Even at home, I'm lonely. I sit in my room and sometimes cry. It is so hard to make friends, and there are some things you can't talk to your parents or family about. I sometimes walk around the neighborhood at night just hoping to find someone to talk to, but I just end up coming home. So he was a sad guy, man.
Yeah.
He really was. And, he just, and again, nature, nurture, that whole thing, and, stemming from, his childhood and kind of how he was, pushed around by his dad,
He didn't have a childhood.
Well, right, exactly.
It was work from what did we say? 7? 6 or
6.
7? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he started singing when he was 4.
Imagine, you work full time now, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine starting at 6 years old and never having any of the memories you do because you're just working.
Yeah, no.
I mean, granted, we say work. I mean, obviously, he was compensated very well for it.
Very.
Lots of money, but still, you know what I mean? He never got to, build a fort and climb a tree and ride a bike at, until the streetlights came on and all the stuff that we did, Yeah,
he didn't have a childhood, which, again, we've talked about
but
it before.
Say that about all those childhood stars. That's why they always usually grow up messed up,
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not a kid. You have to go through all these things. And then not only that, but you are still a child to the people who are taking care of you. So they treat you like a child, but yet you have adult responsibilities.
Right.
So it's like, well, wait a minute. Am I allowed to be a kid? Oh no, I have to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning and I have to do this and I have to learn my lines and I have to do, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like you're torn. I can only imagine, especially for a child's mind. There's a reason that they don't give life sentences and death penalty and stuff to children who do bad, crimes. It's because your brain isn't formed yet.
But they can go die for the country at 18.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But that's a different story.
Right. We're not going to talk about that. So Michael's social uneasiness was probably formed by the wounds in his history. The children were insulated from others at their age, and Jackson's status as a lifelong star may have left him feeling not just cut off from most people, but also alienated from them, as if his experience or his vocation made him extraordinary. Quote, I hate to admit it, he once said, but I feel strange around everyday people. Not exactly an unusual sentiment for some highly celebrated celebrities, especially former child stars, like we were just talking. Mm. At the same time, it's a statement full of signals. Michael did not enjoy the sort of company that might guide him in positive ways. He probably never did throughout his life. Maybe the most troubling passage in his autobiography, Moonwalk, is when he talks about children in the entertainment world who eventually fell prey to drugs, saying, quote, I can understand, considering the enormous stresses that put upon them at a young age. It's a difficult life. So, I mean, he's one that's sitting there just going, I can see why these young people turn to drugs.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's an escape. And if you're in something that you can't really get out of, you know, I mean, it sucks, man. I feel bad to a degree, you know, for kids, stars and stuff. So Thriller placed 7 singles in Billboard's top 10, presently around 50 million copies. At the 1984 Grammy Awards, Michael finally claimed his due, capturing 8 awards, a record he holds with the band. Anyone tell me who else holds a comparable amount of Grammy Awards?
8.
8.
Is it? Can you give us like a time? Like are we talking like 70s, oldies, newer, 90s?
I'm going to say yes to that whole thing.
Oh.
Okay, so they're across
Yeah.
all time. It's got to be like not the Beatles. They wouldn't have had awards.
Jay-Z.
Started in the 70s.
70s? Okay.
Aerosmith?
You're on the right track.
AC/DC.
No. You guys done?
If it's not Aerosmith, the Eagles?
No.
Okay. Meatloaf.
No. But I love Meatloaf. I can't wait to
Queen.
do-
ABBA.
Oh.
Queen. I didn't
Nope.
think about Queen.
Believe it or not, it's Santana.
Oh, come on.
Wait, what?
Yep, Santana.
Maria.
But you got to remember, though.
8?
Well, you got to remember, though. So he was, a guitarist that did some singing, but he used to bring in highly, sought after and large singers and would sing with him on tracks and stuff.
Still doing it to this day.
Still doing it to
I'm
this
sorry.
day.
The
Rob
guy
Thomas.
Yeah,
like-
Matchbox 20 doesn't count. It does not count.
Well, these awards were included Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Male Pop Vocal Performance, Best Rock Vocal Performance for Beat It, Best R&B Song, and Best R&B Vocal Performance for Billie Jean, and he won an award for the E.T., the Extraterrestrial Storybook. In addition, the album won Producer of the Year from Quincy freaking Jones.
Jeez, man.
My God.
Cleaning house.
It's just, just swept it.
Yeah.
Just swept it. So at the
Imagine being an artist at that time, just sitting there in that audience like, yeah.
yeah.
I could have done that.
Yeah.
And the award goes to, let me guess, Michael, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, told ya.
Yeah.
So at the 11th Annual American Music Awards, Michael won another 8 awards and became the youngest artist to win the Award of Merit. He also won Favorite Male Artist, Favorite Soul R&B Artist, and Favorite Pop Rock Artist. Beat It won Favorite Soul R&B Video, Favorite Pop Rock Video, and Favorite Pop Rock Single. In addition, the album won Favorite Soul R&B Album and Favorite Pop Rock Album. It's just insane. Thriller's sales doubled after releasing an extended music video, Michael Jackson's Thriller, seeing Michael dancing with a group of incredibly designed zombies, and was directed by the one and only John Landis. And if you haven't seen that video, first of all, get out from underneath that rock you live in and watch it.
So John Landis did American Werewolf in
London.
Oh, yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did a bunch of scary movies.
Yeah.
Who narrated the video for Thriller? And actually the audio part, too.
Ooh,
in the beginning.
I don't know his name, but I can
Well, how's it
hear
goes like, the darkness falls and ghouls beware. I
The
forget how it
midnight
goes.
hour close at hand.
That's it.
That's the guy who does the Monster Mash.
No. Well, he may have
No.
at some point.
No, I don't
No?
think he did that.
No?
No. He was a great actor that did a bunch of horror movies back
He was
in the
an
day.
actor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We're talking old school black and
In
white.
fact,
Nosferatu.
and no, in fact, he was signed on. He was signed on to do a bunch of movies that were produced by, and I can't remember the director that produced them, but they were all based off of Edgar Allan Poe stories.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like
Yeah.
Raven and what is it, Clockwork or whatever.
He was the dad in Edward Scissorhands.
He was the dad in Edward Scissorhands.
Never seen that movie.
He was Edward's dad.
Oh my God,
The creator.
you've never seen Edward Scissorhands? No.
Are you for real? You suck. Dude, you got homework to do.
Yeah,
I have a lot of
it's the
movies to
one and
watch.
only Vincent Price, buddy.
Vincent Price.
You don't
Vincent
even know what
Price.
that is, do you?
Doesn't sound familiar at all.
Oh,
I don't.
what
I don't have
I
a
know
voice
Richard
for him.
Price.
Yeah, I don't have a voice for him. But yeah, you have to sit down. What'd you say?
I said I know Richard Price.
House on the Haunted Hill, the original, that was Vincent Price.
He's like, I know Fisher Price.
Yeah, them too. I still play with him today.
So yeah, Vincent Price was in there, and Vincent Price is just an iconic actor from back.
well,
in
how
the
much do you think he charged for that?
50s. I don't know.
If you had to put, let me keep going. I'm
Okay,
Google it.
all right. So
I'm
Michael,
really interested to see what he got paid for that.
this is awesome. Michael had the highest royalty rate in the music industry at that point, with about $2 for every album sold, equivalent to around $5 in 2021. So think about that. If you just sold 100 million copies, you get $2 for every one of those.
That's $200 million right there, man.
Yeah,
So
what?
You just said 100 million? I don't know what's going on.
Well, let's just say they're at $10 a piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd be at $2 million, $200 million. Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
I think that's math. I'm
I
really
just
bad at that.
imagine Michael like he's standing in like a huge room, right?
And that's just one album, by the way.
And all the record labels are there, like all like Virgin, every Interscope, they're all there. And he walks out and he's like, "Who's got the best offer?" And they're all just throwing numbers left and right. "I'll take $2 royalties. Sold."
He was listen, his business tactics were like, and I'm sure he had a team with him, but man, they were like straight up like, no, this is what we're going to do. He's like, no, I refuse.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. Because he knew he could do it. So the same year, the making of Michael Jackson's Thriller, a documentary about the music video, won a Grammy for Best Music Video Long Form. Yeah, just winning Grammys and awards all over the damn place.
Do you want to know about Vincent Price?
Yes.
So,
What'd he charge?
after agreeing to do the voice work, Price said he was given the option of taking a percentage of the album proceeds
Oh, please tell me you did that.
or cash.
He took the cash.
He took the cash.
How much?
20,000.
Oh, no.
He could have turned that into like 300,000
Yeah,
if he
he
would have
had.
took the proceeds.
You know, he's afterwards going, son of a bitch.
Well, I think he died not too long
Yeah,
after that.
yeah.
But still, like, God, that's a shame.
Yeah. So at this time, when all this is popping off, the New York Times wrote, quote, "In the world of pop music, there is Michael Jackson, and then there is everybody else." Like he was, I mean, I'm not even joking. This dude was the guy. Not even the guy. He was the artist. Worldwide. There was nobody bigger than him.
So it's kind of funny, though, like, because around that time, too, all the Jackson 5 kind of went off in their solo careers. Like, Jermaine had an album with a terrible video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Tito did one. But, like, imagine being the brothers.
LaToya was in Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did Playboy.
The only one that came close was Janet. She's the only one that came close. I mean, even, like, the original Jackson 5 members didn't do nothing. Like, they did. They tried to put stuff out, but it didn't do nothing as near as Michael.
I love me some Janet, and I would love to do an episode on her as well.
Rhythm Nation.
Oh, she's awesome. Funny enough, my wife and I were actually talking about what song we would do. So we started going through the list.
Yeah.
And thinking of songs that we would do that I could do that wouldn't sound corny. You know what I mean? Like, and we've got it nailed down to a couple, and I'll throw it at you later.
That's the way love goes.
I love that damn song. I don't know if I could pull that one off, though. I don't know if I could. So, oddly enough, on May 14th, 1984, then President Ronald Reagan gave Michael Jackson an award recognizing his support of alcohol and drug abuse charities.
Nice.
And this is also back in the day of Just Say No. That
was Reagan's campaign.
That was his wife's campaign. She was in
Was it
charge of that whole
Nancy's?
thing. Nancy did all that, which also, we're not going to get into it, but contributed to a lot of basically the rate of people being arrested and thrown into jail. It took off from this because they really made it like, okay, if you had like an ounce of weed, there were people that would do like physical offenses, like criminal offenses, that would do less time than someone that had weed on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they're decriminalizing a lot of that now, because unfortunately the Reagan era did that. And whatever. Not getting into that. We're not talking politics. So in November of 1983, Michael and his brothers partnered with PepsiCo. You guys know Pepsi?
Yeah, they have submarines.
What is Pepsi, Logan?
They are the 13th largest.
It's not a Led
naval
Zeppelin
fleet.
album.
Did you know that they actually, like in the 70s, they actually traded like product for like actual like war vessels and stuff like that?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Crazy.
So in a $5 million promotional deal that broke records for a celebrity endorsement, equal to right around $13,603,408 in 2021, that's almost $14 million for an endorsement.
LeBron James don't even get that much, I don't think.
I mean, I don't know, with Nike, maybe.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
LeBron's, man. They be taking off.
Yeah, it's true.
So on January 27th, 1984, Michael and other members of the Jacksons filmed a Pepsi commercial. Well, the pyrotechnics accidentally set Michael's hair on fire during a simulated concert before a whole house of fans, causing second-degree burns to his scalp. Wow. Michael underwent treatment to hide the scars and had his third rhinoplasty shortly after. That's for his nose. Pepsi settled out of court, and Jackson donated the $1.5 million settlement to the Brotman Medical Center in Culver City, California. It's now closed. Michael Jackson Burn Center was named in his honor.
Now, to be fair, he had that Jerry curl, that Soul Glow. Like it was probably so full of hairspray.
Yeah, it was so flammable.
So one little spark, because it was pyrotechnics that set him on fire.
Well, how many times does this happen? Look, it happened to Hetfield.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I mean, we have that much because they're doing a commercial, so he was probably all made up and all that hairspray and hair product back in the 80s too. It wasn't like,
right. Michael, I got this new stuff to put in your hair, buddy. It's gonna make your hair look great. Why does it say made of gasoline? Oh, trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just let your soul glow. So Michael signed a second agreement with Pepsi in the late 1980s for $10 million. The second campaign covered 20 countries and provided financial support for Jackson's Bad album and the 1987-88 World Tour. He was making so much money and was the most significant music star globally at the time.
Balling out of control.
Like, ridiculous. Then months later, it was announced that Michael would be setting out on a nationwide tour with the Jacksons. He didn't want to do it, but felt obligated. Clearly, Michael was bigger, better, and badder.
Nice.
Sorry. Than his family's limitations on him. He should have been taking the stage alone at this point in his career, but of course, he felt obligated.
He was looking at the man in the mirror.
Yeah. Now that was bad. Jackson's aversion to the Victory Tour was apparent when he sat looking miserable at press conferences. The Victory Tour of 1984 headlined the Jacksons and showcased Michael's new solo material to more than 2 million Americans. Following the controversy over the concert's ticket sales, Jackson donated his share of the proceeds, an estimated $3 to $5 million to charity. Now, what controversy, do you ask? I didn't know about this, so I did some deep diving on this.
So there's ticket sales?
Yeah.
Okay.
For this. Okay, and this is... all right. And this is why you guys should support us and donate to our Patreon, because I go above and beyond, all right? All right?
Yes.
You're not going to hear this stuff from any other podcast out there. I mean, you might. So anyway, I'm going to shut up.
Don't forget to smash that like and follow button on Spotify.
That's right.
Right now.
Absolutely. So Don King.
Oh, no.
Yes, that Don King.
You know who Don King is?
Boxing promoter for Mike Tyson back in the day. The big, tall
with the
hair.
Big gray hair.
Yeah. Who is a known piece of crap. Anyway, him, Chuck Sullivan, and, of course, Papa Joe Jackson here came up with a great way to generate extra money from ticket sales. Sounds like a great brain trust to be involved in this, right?
Oh, man, this is going to be good.
Those wanting to attend would have to send a postal money order for $120 or $310 in current money, along with a particular form to a lottery to buy blocks of 4 tickets at $30 a piece. Okay, you guys following that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is allegedly to stop scalpers, because people are out there trying to scalp tickets all the damn time.
Right.
So basically, you'd send in this form, you'd be in a lottery, they draw your name, and if you won, that money would go towards the tickets.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Question. So was Joe Michael's manager at this point still?
Well, this is for their tour, for the Jacksons tour.
So he's obviously managing the Jackson 5.
Correct.
But I wonder if he was managing Michael too.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I think this is back when Berry Gordy kind of took over and stuff like that. I think. Did we talk about that in the last episode?
No. You
listeners should let us know that we're idiots. Anyway, so they did all this, right? Upon receipt, the money was to be deposited into a standard money market account earning 7% annual interest, okay? So let's just say $100 a piece, 7% interest, and let's just say they're $100 a piece. These were way more. That interest alone is accruing a ton of money. It would take 6 to 8 weeks for the lottery to be held and money to be refunded to those that didn't win.
So they make 8 weeks of interest.
So think about this. So during that time, let's just say they put, $100 million in there. It's accruing 7% interest. And then even after they're done with that, they just send the money back to people.
Right.
But they made that interest.
What a genius idea.
It's profoundly crazy. And yeah, it is kind of genius, to be honest with you.
I'm not saying it's right. It was the right thing to do, but that's a genius idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Since only 1 in 10 purchasers would win the lottery and receive tickets, there would be more money in the bank for that period than there were tickets to sell. And they expected to earn $10 to $12 million in interest alone.
Wow.
Obviously, the Jacksons were all for the idea, but Michael wasn't. And he warned them that it would be a public relations disaster. The $30 ticket price was already higher than most touring acts, like Prince and Bruce Springsteen, even at this time, were charging. And it was even worse by the requirement to buy 4. Okay, so that's $120 you have to spend on tickets, when back then you could get tickets to something like that for like, I don't know, $19.99 or something like that. Maybe even lower. So this put tickets out of reach of many of Michael's African-American fans who were not financially secure. At this time, Michael was already being blasted about his physical look and music separating from his race. So he was like, you guys are just going to separate this now and make it even worse, because, and not just the African-American community, but anybody who was, you know, on the lower end of income.
Right.
You can't afford that, you know? So it just made this huge separation. So that community was joined by many commentators in the media in criticizing the Jacksons over the plan. Nevertheless, it worked, and people were lining up to get their newspapers to sign up for the lottery. On July 5th, 1984, after receiving a letter from 11-year-old fan LaDonna Jones, who accused the Jacksons and their promoters of being, quote, selfish and just out for money, Michael held a press conference to announce changes in the tour's organization and also to announce that his share of the proceeds from the tour would be donated to charity. Jones, the little girl who, whatever, later received VIP treatment at the Dallas concert. So that's kind of nice they did that for her. The following is actually Michael's speech at the press conference. Quote, a lot of people are having trouble getting tickets. The other day I got a letter from a fan in Texas named LaDonna Jones. She'd been saving her money from odd jobs to buy a ticket. Remember, she's 11. But with the turned tour system, she'd have to buy 4 tickets and couldn't afford that. So we asked our promoter to work out a new way of distributing tickets, a way that no longer requires a money order. There has also been a lot of talk about the promoter holding money for tickets they didn't sell. I've asked our promoter to end the mail order ticket system as soon as possible so that no one will pay money unless they get a ticket. Finally, and most importantly, there's something else I am going to announce today. I want you to know that I decided to donate all my money I make from our performance to charity. There will be further press statements released in the next 2 weeks. So that's straight from Michael. He got up and said, I don't like this. This is not working. We're going to fix it. And I'm giving my money to someplace else.
And then, meanwhile, Joe's on the side like, you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's still counting those stacks, though. Yeah. So some procedures were modified. However, the ticket price remained unchanged. And at a press conference, Don King justified the $30 fee as appropriate and that he did not blame the promoters for charging that price, adding that, quote, you must understand, you get what you pay for. Thanks, Don. You jerk. During the last concert of the Victory Tour at the Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, Michael announced his split from the Jacksons during Shake Your Body. So he was done. Okay. His charitable work continued with the release of We Are the World. You remember that song at all?
No.
Oh, really?
That's a good one.
We are the world.
You got Bon Jovi, Cyndi Lauper, all kinds
Bono,
of
like you had everybody in there. Yeah.
It was 30 people or something like that?
Well, let's see if it tells us.
Oh.
All right. It was co-written with future icon Lionel Richie, which raised money for the poor in the U.S. and Africa. It earned $63 million.
Wow.
Which is roughly equivalent to $158,728,032 in today's currency.
Man, inflation's up. You know what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And became one of the best-selling singles with 20 million copies sold. It won 4 Grammys in 1985, including Song of the Year for Michael and Lionel as its writers. Do you know who Lionel Richie is?
I do, actually.
Who?
I don't know the song, but I recently watched, was it...
American Idol?
Masked Singer. I think he was on Masked Singer.
No, he's on American Idol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe it was American Idol.
Hello?
Is it me you're looking for?
Yeah, that's Michael. Or Dancing on the Ceiling.
Yeah.
He's great. He's and what group was he in before?
The Commodores.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were kind of like a new wave Temptations.
Yeah.
We're talking about the group, not the PC.
Not the console. Commodore 64.
That was good. Yeah. So he's like, wait, computers sing? Wait, what?
I want a Commodore so it sings to me like that.
Yeah. So Michael collaborated with Sir Paul McCartney. Sorry for my mouth, folks. I am hyped up on coffee today, and woo! So he hooked up with Sir Paul McCartney from the one and only Beatles in the early 1980s and learned that Paul was making $40 million a year from owning the rights to other artists' songs.
Ebony and Ivory.
By 1983, Michael had begun buying publishing rights to other songs, but he was careful with his purchases, only bidding on a few of the dozens offered to him. Michael's early buys included Sly and the Family Stone's Everyday People, Lynn Barry's 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, Dion DiMucci's The Wanderer, and Runaround Sue.
Wow.
I had no idea that Michael bought all those.
He must have banged.
Yeah.
Dude, Runaround Sue was a huge
Keep
hit.
away from a Runaround Sue. Hey, hey. You have no idea, do you?
I heard that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 1984, it was announced that the publishing rights to nearly 4,000 songs from ATV Music, including most of the Beatles material, were coming up for sale. In 1981, Paul McCartney was offered the catalog for $40 million, or 20 million pounds. Michael submitted a bid for $46 million on November 20th, 1984.
So that's just so crazy. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what I would do in that situation.
The worst part to me, though, is like I'm assuming this is probably after they did Ebony and Ivory.
That's what I was
and
wondering.
So they were probably friends.
Yeah, and there's the whole video. They're like riding on the cart together, and like.
And McCartney's probably like, Michael, just so you know, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, I go and I buy these, and I buy them.
That's great, Paul.
Yeah.
I'll outbid you on your own music.
Exactly. But guess what? I'm taking your stuff. Yeah. I don't know if you laughed like that.
Also,
at
he
all.
took like the stack of money. He was like, Dominoes. And threw it down.
Drops it and walks away.
Oh,
So
man.
when Michael and Paul were unable to make a joint purchase, McCartney did not want to be the sole owner of the Beatles songs and did not pursue an offer on his own.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So at first, Michael's team couldn't figure it out and just walked away. But then they heard someone else was looking to buy them.
Ooh.
Michael's increased bid of $47.5 million, right around $120 million today, was accepted because he could close the deal faster.
Wow.
His purchase of ATV Music was finalized on August 10th, 1985.
Did they say who the other person was?
Oh, geez, I don't have that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I don't
would've
have that. So, but that's 4,000 songs he bought, including pretty much the entire Beatles catalog.
That's crazy.
Now, keep in mind, other than Michael and probably Elvis, the Beatles were the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were the biggest thing, like, in their time. So it was like, you know,
Well, even
Elvis.
throughout their time, though. I mean,
No,
the
but I'm
60s,
saying, like,
70s.
So Elvis had, like, the 50s.
Yeah.
And the Beatles had, like, the 60s and probably 70s.
Yeah.
And then Michael came in and he had the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much just how that dynamic worked. Globally, I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So at this time, why was Michael being questioned about his look and his music? As a child, Michael had a sweet, dark-skinned appearance. Many early Jackson 5 fans regarded him as the cutest of the brothers. J. Randy Terabelli, author of Michael Jackson, The Magic and the Madness, has written, quote, Michael believed his skin messed up my whole personality. He no longer looked at people as he talked to them. His playful personality changed, and he became quieter and more serious. He thought he was ugly. His skin was too dark. He decided, and his nose was too wide. It was no help that his insensitive father and brothers called him Big Nose, like we talked about earlier on the last episode. Also, as Jackson became an adolescent, he was horribly self-conscious about acne. Hilburn recalled going through a stack of photos with Jackson one night and came across a picture of him as a teenager. Oh, that's horrible, Jackson said, recoiling from the picture. So he really hated the way he looked. He hated it. He hated everything about it. And then you got all these rhinoplasties. And of course, you know, and this is the part that, you know, a lot of people talk about too, is that he was trying to quote unquote make himself look more white.
Right.
Thinning out his nose and stuff like that. I think one kind of led to the other. Would he have done it if he didn't mess his nose up initially?
You can look at anybody that does that now. Look at Madonna right now. Have you seen her lately on TikTok?
Jeez.
Like, there's a thing that happens where they do it. It's like getting a tattoo and then you can't stop. And then next thing you know, you're covered in tattoos. It's kind of like along that same, you know, along those lines where they get one thing fixed and they're like, oh, this looks great. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And next thing you know, you look like Madonna on TikTok and it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's not the only one. A lot of these people just can't.
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
They just
Jenny McCarthy.
They don't like to age gracefully.
They just look like melted plastic.
Yeah. And again, though, I think that is, you know whose fault that is? That is the people that consume what they do. That's their fault.
Yeah.
Because you put them on a pedestal and make them feel like they're goddesses or gods. And then all of a sudden, if they start to not feel that way anymore or feel like they're slipping away from that public thing, well, I have to fix myself to get back in that limelight.
Well, they're saying that's one of the reasons they think Naomi Judd shot herself. Right. Committed suicide is because she's obviously getting older and she just can't deal with like the look of, you know.
It's so sad.
The limelight of it.
So sad. So the face Michael displayed on the cover of Thriller had changed. The skin tone seemed lighter and his nose thinner and straighter. In his book, Moonwalk, Michael claimed that much of the physical overhaul was due to changes in his diet. He admitted to altering his nose and chin, but he denied he'd done anything to his skin. Still, the changes didn't end there. Over the years, Michael's skin grew lighter and lighter. His nose tapered more and more, and his cheekbones became more defined. This all became fair game for mockery to some. To others, it seemed like mutilation. Not just because it might have been an act of conceit aimed to keep him looking like a kid, but worse because some believed Michael wanted to transform himself into a quote-unquote white person. Or an androgen?
Androgynous?
Yeah, like to become androgynous, or they're called androgen or androgyne. I don't know. I'm horrible with words.
Bleach skin, though?
I mean,
like, wouldn't that chemically
I'm sure they
burn
can,
you
dude.
and
I'm sure
be
they
bad
can.
for you?
Yeah, I don't know. They
Maybe
probably
nowadays,
can.
but
I don't know. You can do pigment alteration, stuff like that.
So
not back in
androgynous.
the 80s.
No,
No,
I
yeah, I'm
don't
sure.
know.
Well, who knows?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So androgynous, or androgyny, I guess, is somebody with both male and female traits. So it's basically, well, nowadays,
non-binary.
I guess nowadays that's
like-
what it would be considered, right? Non-binary. Yeah.
I apologize, any listener. I do not follow any of that
Yeah,
stuff. It's confusing to
pardon
me.
our ignorance on that. I really,
Like, you can
I
be
don't know
whoever
a
you
lot.
want, and that's cool. It's hard for me to follow it because I don't understand any of it.
Yeah, I don't know because the terminology changes a lot too,
It's
and
different every time.
constantly
Like when
changing.
you think you know it,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's something else.
yeah, and we're definitely not trying to disparage anybody out there whatsoever. Like you be you, boo. Period.
Yeah.
Everybody, I don't care.
Just be a person.
Just don't step on anybody's toes. That's all I ask, right?
Yeah.
Be a good person. Do what you want to do. So Michael's art was still his best way of making a case for himself at that time. Then in 1987, he released Bad.
Who's bad?
That's right. His highly anticipated successor to Thriller. It may not have been as eventful and ingenious as Off the Wall and Thriller, but Bad was awesome. And it was. It was so good.
Great album.
It became the first album to produce 5 U.S. #1 singles. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Bad. Who's bad? The Way You Make Me Feel. Oh, I love that
That's
song.
a good one.
Man in the Mirror and Dirty Diana, which you can hear our version at the end of this and on Spotify. I know we keep beating a dead horse with that, folks, but guess what? We need those numbers to go up, and we got to get out of this damn garage.
Hey, put it on your playlist.
Yeah.
If you work out at the gym and you got a playlist, put our stuff on there.
There you go. And then put it on other people's phones when they're...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they're not looking, I put it on their Spotify playlist always.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
So another song, Smooth Criminal, peaked at number 7.
Oh, I forgot that was on there.
Can you tell me what other band covered Smooth Criminal?
I could tell you,
Ooh, is it
but I'm not going to.
Hold on, I wanna
Alien
see.
Ant Farm?
There it is.
Oh,
How
I
did
know,
you know
rock.
that?
Good job.
I'm so smart.
So Bad won the 1988 Grammy for Best Engineered Recording, non-classical, and the 1990 Grammy Award for Best Music Video, short form, for Leave Me Alone. Michael won an award of achievement at the American Music Awards in 1989 after Bad generated 5 #1 singles, becoming the first album to top the charts in 25 countries.
Oh, wait.
Wow.
It's huge.
I've got a quick quiz for you.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you may have seen this in his research, but I'm curious. Who was the villain in the Smooth Criminal little epic movie video?
In Smooth Criminal?
Yes.
Ooh.
The main villain.
I know what you're talking about too. I actually don't think I know that. I don't think it. I don't think that's in my notes.
You don't know?
No. Who is it?
It's Joe Pesci.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Now go get you. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna, anyway. Wrong show.
I knew there's no way he would get that, but I thought, hey, maybe you know. Maybe you know that.
So, it also won the best-selling album worldwide in 1987 and 1988. By 2012, it had sold between 30 and 45 million copies worldwide. Oh, and remember, it was considered a flop compared to Thriller.
That's a okay.
Yeah. Oh, and the title track for the Bad album was actually supposed to be a duet with Prince.
Oh, could you imagine that?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
The Prince walked away from it due to the opening line, "Your butt is mine."
Why would Prince walk away from that?
Now hold on, I've got a great quote here from Prince. It says, quote, now who is going to sing that to whom? Because he sure ain't singing that to me, and I sure ain't singing that to him. Prince said in a TV interview with American comedian Chris Rock. Our boy Chris Rock.
Prince is awesome.
Prince is
That's
amazing.
hilarious.
I cannot
It is
wait
funny.
to do Prince. That sounded horrible. I can't wait to do an episode on him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So later that year, Michael staged his first solo tour, the Bad World Tour. It ran from September 12th, 1987 to January 14th, 1989. The tour had 14 sellouts in Japan and drew 570,000 people, nearly tripling the previous record for a single tour. In addition, the 504,000 people who attended 7 sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium set a new Guinness World Record.
I couldn't even comprehend to imagine what it would be like walking out to a stage with 570,000 people.
I can't. It would be like a blur. Like
I can't imagine going out in front of 500 people.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like 570,000 though? I mean, that's like...
I have done that before. I'm just joking. But anyway.
That's insane.
I couldn't imagine, dude. That is a small city.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Like when you would talk in the mic or sing, it would echo and you would hear that. Like, could you imagine that feeling of...
Yeah, but the people would be singing it over that.
Of course.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah, that would be nuts.
It's a dream, isn't it? It's a dream.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So in 1988, Michael released an autobiography, as mentioned earlier, Moonwalk. It sold 200,000 copies and reached the top of the New York Times bestsellers list. In October, Michael released a film, Moonwalker. There it is, which featured live footage and short films starring himself and Goodfellas star Joe Pesci. Ta-da! I did have it in here. Okay. In the U.S., it was released direct-to-video and became the best-selling video cassette. The dude's just breaking records everywhere.
I don't know if you remember, but he like morphs into a car.
Yes, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
He's like trying to help that girl because like Joe Pesci steals the girl or kidnaps her. And he's like, it doesn't even do the transformer. It's just like, and he just morphs into like a car. It's like the worst animation ever.
So good. So the RIAA certified it as 8 times platinum. So in March 1988, Jackson purchased 2,700 acres or 11 kilometers squared for all you smarter people out there.
Wait. How? I didn't know it was that big.
2,700 acres, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's big. It's big. Anyway, this land was near Santa Ynez, I believe, or Inez, whatever, California, to build a new home, Neverland Ranch, at a cost of $17 million, equivalent to damn near $39 million today. Let that sink in for a second. So in 1991, Michael renewed his contract with Sony for $65 million, right around $129 million today, a record-breaking deal.
That's crazy.
Also in 1991, he released his 8th album, Dangerous, co-produced by Mr. Rumpshaker himself, Teddy Riley. You know who that is, right?
All I want to do is I'm a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom.
Just shake your rump. You know Rumpshaker.
No.
What?
Really? I've
Oh
never
my
heard that.
God.
Yes, you have.
I swear I've never heard
You've
that. That's
heard that.
crazy.
Hey, quick follow-up.
Yeah.
2,700 acres
Yeah.
is 4 square miles.
That's it?
Oh my God.
That's huge, dude. 4 square miles.
That might be as big.
Like you could have your own racetrack and everything.
That's a good
That
size
might
farm.
be as big or a little bit bigger or smaller than the town of Olmsted Falls.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe a little bit smaller.
But still.
I knew it was
we're-
big, but I didn't know it was that big. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
Olmsted
insane.
Township's like 6 or 7.
So
Wow.
Dangerous was certified 8 times platinum in the U.S. and by 2018 had sold 32 million copies worldwide. In the
What
U.S.,
was on Dangerous again?
well, the first single, Black or White, was the album's highest charting song. It was number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks and achieved similar chart performances worldwide. And the video featured a very young Macaulay Culkin. We know who Macaulay Culkin is, right?
Home Alone.
A little Home
Who
Alone.
else was in that video? He's from Cheers. Do you even know what Cheers is? Not the cover band your dad and I were in.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't
The
realize you guys were in
TV
that.
show.
Not the guy who like smacks the jukebox.
He's the guy
and stuff,
that everybody
the
knew
Fonz?
when he'd walk in. They'd all be
That's
like,
Happy Days.
Oh, my bad.
they'd all be like, they'd say his name. No, you don't know Cheers.
No, I don't know. Cheers.
Did you ever put Nick at Night on when you're sleeping?
Yeah, and George Lopez is the only thing that never popped up.
Oh God, is he on there
Taken
now?
away from all the pain takes everything you got. Taken away from all your worries sure does help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
God, I wish I had my keyboard here. I'd be like, ding, ding, ding.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows. You don't know?
I know the song.
Oh,
Cheers.
my
I've
God.
never-
Norm.
never-
It's
never
Norm.
watched it.
Norm.
Norm.
Every time he walked in, everyone's like, Norm.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
no.
Yeah.
I thought Norm was that little puppet
He was
thing.
the dad in the video. He knocks on the door and tells Macaulay to turn that down. Down.
No. Really? Yeah. That's weird.
I want to make him sit down and watch all these things.
Oh, God.
So the second single, Remember the Time, peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts. And that video featured whom?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. At the end of 1992, Dangerous was the best-selling album worldwide and Black or White, the best-selling single of the year worldwide at the Billboard Music Awards. Obviously, Michael wanted to tour in promotion of his latest album, and the Dangerous World Tour ran between June 1992 and November of 1993. So think about that. You're on tour for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's a long time.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is when like music was changing to grunge and that Seattle sound. Like back in the early 90s, it was just coming up. So he's like the top of the pop game. And then you have all the, the crazy artists that we're going to go over, like Alice in Chains and all that are just starting to come up. Soundgarden is just starting to come up. Pearl Jam, around that time.
Yep.
Crazy.
So think about that. Now also think about this. So he is making all this money from all of his albums.
Right.
This is like his 5th record that's doing great and selling a ton of whatever.
Only up to his 20th Grammy right now. Yeah.
Well, this tour, the Dangerous Tour, grossed itself $100 million that year, or during the tour, which is equivalent to $187 million today. Almost 188. So Michael performed for 3.5 million people in 70 concerts, all of which were outside the U.S. A part of the proceeds went to the Heal the World Foundation. In addition, Michael sold the broadcast rights of the tour to HBO for $20 million, a record-breaking deal that still has not been broken.
Wow.
Like, he's printing money. Like, seriously.
He owns the world, man. He owns the world.
Also in 1993, Michael performed at the Super Bowl 27 halftime show in Pasadena, California. The NFL wanted a prominent musical artist to keep ratings high during halftime. It was the first Super Bowl where the halftime performance drew higher audience figures than the game. Michael played Jam, Billie Jean, Black or White, and Heal the World. Now, Dangerous, the album rose 90 places in the album chart after that performance. Wow. Just shot right up.
Wow.
In January 1993, Michael won 3 American Music Awards for Favorite Pop Rock Album for Dangerous, Favorite Soul R&B Single, Remember the Time, and he was the first to win the International Artist Award for Excellence. In addition, he won the Living Legend Award at the 35th Annual Grammy Awards in Los Angeles in February. He attended the award ceremony with Brooke Shields. Remember that? When he showed up with her, everyone's like, wait a minute. He actually showed up. You have no idea who Brooke Shields is. Jeez.
She was married to Andre Agassi. You know who that is?
Nope.
If you saw her, you would know. She's got eyebrows.
Did you ever see the movie Blue Lagoon?
He's not going to know that.
The swamp thing from the Blue Lagoon?
Yeah.
She was the chick on Friends that thought Joey's character was real.
Oh, okay.
I love how you connect the dots there like that.
We got it. Yeah. In addition, Dangerous was nominated for Best Vocal Performance for Black or White, Best R&B Vocal Performance for Jam, and Best R&B Song for Jam. In 1995, Michael released the double album History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1. The album debuted at number 1 on the charts and certified for 8 million sold in the U.S. It is the best-selling multi-disc album of all time. Yes, you heard that correct. Another record-breaking thing that he's doing here.
That's ridiculous.
With 20 million copies or 40 million units sold worldwide. In addition, History received a Grammy nomination for Album of the Year. The first single from History was Scream, or / Childhood, okay? That's the great music song, whatever. It's a great video, by the way. But can you tell me who sang that song with him? Scream?
I've never heard that song.
Oh, my God.
You never heard?
No.
It was his sister, Janet.
Janet was in it.
Really?
The song's awesome. The video is great.
Never heard it.
Oh, they're on like a spaceship?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's
It's
super
all black
awesome.
and white,
Yeah.
and they're playing like space ping pong, and like they're breaking glass when they scream and stuff. It's actually a catchy tune, by the way.
That's right. It was with his youngest sister, Janet, or Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
I love how you sold it like an insurance salesman. And if you're nasty, we can.
The single reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and received a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals. Also at the time in 1995, it was the most expensive music video ever produced. Can anyone here guess, even get close to how much this video cost to make for Scream?
Okay, and
35 million.
What was the year again?
1995.
1995. I'm going to say 5.5 million.
$7 million.
Damn, I was close.
For one video.
One video.
That's a lot.
Well, it's cool because there's a part where he's like moonwalking on the ceiling.
Oh.
In it, there's like all this like special effects where like they're floating and then they're breaking all kinds of stuff. And there's animations.
It was like a Puff Daddy video before Puff Daddy did it.
Basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was like the way they're in the hallways and it's like all glitchy and stuff. Super cool. So his second single, You Are Not Alone, holds the Guinness World Record, again breaking more records, for the first song to debut at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Guess who's in that video?
You are not alone.
It was.
I am here with you.
It was Michael's wife. Who was Michael's wife?
Ooh, at the time.
At the time, he only was married twice, wasn't he? Technically,
I don't know if he was married the second
94,
time,
96, and then 96 he got married to somebody else.
He was married to another king's daughter.
Oh, that's what's her? It's Elvis Presley's.
There it is.
Something Natasha Presley or something like that. I don't know.
That's his Russian daughter. Yeah. Everybody, I'd like to introduce my daughter.
You want to walk around the clock?
Natasha, right here. Hi, Daddy, I love you.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
You're not nothing but hound dog. Sing it right.
Natasha Presley. Yes, you're correct.
It's Natasha Presley.
Yeah. Who is it? Jennifer Presley.
No.
Oh, man.
It's not Jennifer Presley.
What's her name?
Anyway, I can't remember her first name.
Priscilla.
Priscilla, there it is.
Priscilla.
Yeah.
Is it Priscilla or is that the mom?
No, Priscilla was his wife. No, Priscilla was his wife.
Okay,
Sorry.
so she was...
His daughter's name was, oh my God.
Lisa Marie.
Lisa Marie, there it is. Yeah. Wasn't he in a relationship or married to Iman?
No, whoever Blanket's mom is.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think we talk about that here in a minute.
She was just like an odd, like not famous, just a regular odd person that he was married to.
So in addition, it received a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Vocal Performance in 1995. In November of the same year, Michael merged his ATV music catalog with Sony's music publishing division, creating Sony ATV Music Publishing. He kept ownership of half the company, earning another $95 million up front, right around $169 million in today's money.
God.
And the rights to a ton more songs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Michael promoted History with the obviously named History World Tour from September 7th, 1996 to October 15th, 1997. He performed 82 concerts in 5 continents, 35 countries, and 58 cities to over 4.5 million fans, making it his most attended tour. It grossed $165 million, or $302 million in today's money.
I wonder if his estate, like his kids, got all that money. Or if it went out to pay debts or what.
Well, we'll get into it a little bit. I don't think I get too much into it, but Michael was broke.
Wow.
He did sell off all of his catalogs, didn't he?
Well, that's part of the reason why he was trying to do that last tour. We'll talk about it here, yeah. So in 1997, Michael released Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix, which contained remixes of singles from History and 5 new songs. Worldwide sales stand at 6 million, why'd I say it like that? 6 million copies, making it the best-selling remix album ever. Yeah.
Wow.
Another one. When anyone ever doubts the magnitude of Michael Jackson's presence in the music industry, take everything else out of it, and that's why we're doing this episode, nobody comes close.
Yeah, here's the thing. People have tried time and time and time, since the beginning of time, to capture lightning in a bottle twice. It's virtually almost impossible for anybody to do. This guy did it 7 times. It was haha. Legit caught lightning in a bottle 7 times.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. And hopefully you kept his hair away from it.
Yeah.
So it reached number 1 in the UK, as did the title track. In the US, the album reached number 24 and was certified platinum. Yeah, a remix album going platinum. Correct. From October 1997 to September 2001, Michael worked on his 10th solo album, Invincible, which cost, anyone want to take an idea of how much it cost to do?
I don't know if I remember this album.
Invincible?
$25 million.
Thoughts, Jeff?
50?
$30 million to record. Just think about that. But to him, what's $30 million?
Yeah, that's a drop in the bucket.
And he's probably not even footing the bill. It's probably the studios. You know what I mean?
Well, why wouldn't they? Of course they would want to.
They know they know they're going to make it back.
Right.
Invincible was released on October 30th, 2001. It was his first full-length album in 6 years and the last album of original material he would release in his lifetime. It debuted at number 1 in 13 countries, sold 8 million copies worldwide, and went double platinum. Jeez. In September 2001, Michael performed in 2 30th anniversary concerts. This is awesome, by the way, with his brothers for the first time since 1984. The show also featured Maya, Usher, Whitney Houston, Destiny's Child, Monica, Liza Minnelli, and Slash. Huge party.
Who's in Destiny's Child? Is that someone we've talked about on the show?
He's asking you. You know this. Come on. You got this one. Beyonce. Queen Bee herself.
Who's Beyonce married to?
It's a wonderful guy.
It's not Austin Powers.
Are you sure? No, that's Foxy Cleopatra.
That's very good.
Who was played by the same person, though?
What?
That was Beyonce.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's why I told him it's not Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Who's she married to?
Oh, come on. We just did the episode on that.
Jay-Z, man.
Okay.
So on January 9th, 2002, Michael won his 22nd American Music Award for Artist of the Century. I haven't won one.
You got close.
And he's got 22 of them.
We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah,
there.
you got close. You'll get
Come
there.
on, guys. Stream the Spotify.
Yeah, you guys got to get us there.
Yeah.
On November 18th, 2003, Sony released Number Ones, a greatest hits compilation.
That's where you make the money.
Yeah, it was certified 5 times platinum by the RIAA and 9 times platinum in the UK for shipments of at least 2.7 million units.
Wow.
Now, remember back then, so if you could get all the hits on a CD instead of having to use 5 different CDs, people buy it. So that's why they did this. Around that time, you'll notice that like all artists came out with greatest hits.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that was my favorite. Is
all
when
the songs on one CD.
Yeah.
Instead of having to flip through 5 or 6 or 7.
Or make a burn copy. Yeah.
The funniest part about it is that typically, especially if you're a fan of the music, you already have all of those.
Yeah.
Those albums individually, and then they come out with one that has like all your favorite songs on it, and you're like, son of a, you know what I mean? But then what's cool is having them all in one spot. But again, though,
I
if
did
you're
that with the Foo Fighters.
yeah.
You know,
The
they have
Foo
their greatest
Fighters.
hits.
That's a great
And
record.
it's like, well, why am I going to buy 20 albums and just pull out the songs that I like when I can just get the greatest hits and it's got all of them done?
To me, though, man, I really enjoy finding stuff that I guess on the record that isn't like maybe wasn't a single or you know what I mean. Like that's kind of my favorite is when you find something you're like, oh my god, I love this song.
There's only a few bands I go that far with, though.
Yeah, a lot of them don't do that.
Yeah.
So now, during this time, allegations of child sexual abuse and the trials that followed were all over the news. If you're unfamiliar, you can actually do that research for yourself. I really don't want to get into that whole thing here.
Yeah.
This is more about what he did as far as
an icon.
the music, okay? Now, that other stuff, whether he did or didn't do it, that is up to, I guess,
I don't know.
up to other people's determinations here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Actually, if you guys want to hear about it, we talked about it on the Midnight Train.
We sure did.
Not
oh,
too
we did.
long ago.
We did a bonus episode over there.
The Finding Neverland.
Yeah, Finding Neverland thing. And if you guys want to hear that, sign up for Patreon. You know, it's $5. Get over there and you get bonus episodes for both. Anyway, plug.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Michael's finances were also coming undone. He had been spending ludicrous amounts of money, and he'd mismanaged his money, which took some doing since he had made so much money.
Well, don't let Ludacris spend your money.
Move! As a result, the biggest star in the world had fallen from the tallest height. He left the country, okay, and moved to Bahrain, where it was announced that Jackson had signed a contract with Bahrain-based startup 2C's Records, and nothing came of that deal. And 2C CEO Guy Holmes later said it was never finalized. That October, Fox News reported that Michael had been recording at a studio in County Westmeath in Ireland. It was unknown what he was working on or who had paid for the sessions. His publicist stated that he had left 2C's by then. After that, Michael was only occasionally seen or heard from. Nobody knew whether he could recover his name or preserve his undeniable music legacy until he announced on an incredibly ambitious series of 50 concerts, which he described as the final curtain call.
Would you like to know what he spent his money on?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, I know he had monkeys and
So-
the ranch had animals all over the place.
Jackson a few years ago said in an interview that the entertainer had spent about $8 million annually on plane charters, antiques, paintings, hotel rooms, travel, and other expenses. Jeez. And then the annual upkeep for Neverland, that 2,700 acres, $4 million.
Well, there you go.
So that's what he blew all his money on.
Well, then, of course, and then also, too, he was also he gave money to charity. He was very, I don't want to say generous with his money when it came to friends, family, things like that. Like, he was that guy.
Yeah.
You know? So the This Is It shows were his first significant concerts since the History World Tour in 1997, okay, because it was the final curtain call, and then This Is It. Michael suggested he would retire after the shows. The initial plan was for 10 concerts in London, followed by shows in Paris, New York, and Mumbai. Randy Phillips, president and chief executive of AEG Live, that is a promotions company, predicted the first 10 dates would earn Jackson £50 million, or close to $63 million. Okay? After record-breaking ticket sales, the London shows were increased to 50 dates. So they went initially from 10 dates to 50 because they were just selling tickets.
Wow.
Over 1 million tickets were sold in less than 2 hours. 1 million tickets! 2 hours! I can't sell a ticket to anything in 2 hours. The concerts were to run from July 13th, 2009 to March 6th of 2010. Michael moved back to Los Angeles, where he rehearsed in the weeks leading up to the tour under the direction of choreographer Kenny Ortega, whom he had worked with during his previous tours. Most rehearsals took place at the Staples Center, which was owned by AEG. It's hard to believe that Jackson, who was so proud of his public performances and so peerless at delivering them, would have committed himself to a project he might fail so tremendously at. At the same time, it is not inconceivable that Michael Jackson could have been a man half hungry and broken in the past few years. Remember, there was a lot of stuff going on in his personal life. All the allegations, all the court battles, all these things. Again, whether it's true or alleged, you know, it's just ridiculous. And by the way, that first case was dismissed. I don't remember the second case.
He settled it, didn't he?
Yeah, he settled. Yeah. Well, but one of them, I think the second one was settled. Whatever it was. Anyway, so it took a toll on somebody who was already not mentally strong.
Right.
You know. So anyway, all that is certain is that on June 25th in Los Angeles, Michael Jackson met the only sure redemption he might know in the most famous, unexpected, and mysterious death in current history. That redemption didn't come because he died, but because his death forced us to reconsider what his life added up to. Less than 3 weeks before the first This Is It show was due to kick off in London with all concerts sold out, and I repeat, sold out, Michael Jackson unfortunately died from cardiac arrest caused by a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose. Conrad Murray, his personal physician, had given Michael different medications to help him sleep at his rented mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles. Paramedics received a 911 call at 12:22 p.m. Pacific time and arrived 3 minutes later. He wasn't breathing, and the medics performed CPR. Resuscitation efforts continued en route to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. How ironic. And for more than an hour after Michael's arrival, but were unsuccessful. And Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. News of his death spread quickly online, causing websites to slow down, crash from user overload, and put unprecedented strain on services and websites, including Google, AOL Instant Messenger, Twitter, and Wikipedia. Overall, web traffic rose by between 11% and 20% only, and just because of the death of Michael Jackson.
Wow.
MTV and BET aired marathons of Michael's music videos, and specials aired on television stations worldwide. MTV briefly returned to its original music format, which is messed up that it took an icon to die for MTV to actually be, music television. And they aired hours of Michael's music in his videos, with live news specials featuring reactions and interviews from MTV personalities and other celebrities. His memorial was held on July 7th, 2009 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, preceded by a private family service at Forest Lawn Memorial Park's Hall of Liberty. Over 1.6 million fans applied for tickets to the memorial.
Wow.
The 8,750 recipients were drawn at random, and each received 2 tickets. That's how big you are. They have to sell tickets
to your funeral.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sell tickets to get people to come. You know what I mean? The memorial service was one of the most watched events in streaming history, with an estimated U.S. audience of 31.1 million.
I watched it.
That's a tenth.
That's U.S.
That's a tenth of the U.S. watching.
And an estimated 2.5 to 3 billion worldwide.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's just ridiculous.
That's like a third.
There's about 8 billion people.
Almost 8 billion, right? Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Jennifer Hudson, and others performed at the memorial, and Smokey Robinson and Queen Latifah gave eulogies. Reverend Al Sharpton received a standing ovation with cheers when he told Michael's children, quote, "Wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with, but he dealt with it anyway." Michael's 11-year-old daughter, Paris Catherine, wept as she addressed the crowd. Michael's body was entombed on September 3rd, 2009 at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Oh, but wait, there's more. But of course there is. It's Michael Jackson, right?
Of course.
His doctor was initially charged with involuntary manslaughter and was found guilty. So he was sentenced to 4 years. Yep, 4 friggin' years.
Wow.
After his death, Michael was still winning awards. He won 4 awards at 2009's AMAs, bringing his total AMA wins to 26, something no one else has ever touched. The documentary, Michael Jackson's This Is It, came out shortly after, and I have seen it, and I loved it.
It was good.
As sad as it was knowing that he'd never get to perform those concerts. Despite a limited 2-week engagement, the film became the highest-grossing documentary or concert film ever, with more than $260 million worldwide earnings.
Wow.
Still making just crazy, just insane, dude. It's the most baffling thing in the world that you can sit there and talk about Michael Jackson, and nothing will ever come close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Except Icons and Outlaws.
Except Icons and Outlaws.
This week in music news.
Well, there really isn't a lot going on in the news.
How'd that go?
Yeah, like nothing really happened, surprisingly enough. It's just, typical, like Harry Styles is going on tour and stuff like that. Nothing interesting. Sorry if you're a Harry Styles fan.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
We did have one death that I guess is notable.
Okay.
Guy, his name is Vangelis. That's his name. That's what he went by.
Okay, I've never heard of that guy, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Oscar-winning composer of Chariots of Fire and Blade Runner.
Oh.
He died at the age of 79.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Also, you said that, what's his name, passed away too, right? You were just saying that recently. What's his name? Bill Withers, right? Didn't you say Bill Withers passed away?
Yep.
It's Doc of the Bay, Bill Withers, which, by the way, we will do an episode on him one day because he is crazy story. But
and then the only other story that's interesting, I guess, is Post Malone did a Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme song.
That's awesome.
There's your news.
I love Posty. But to those we lost.
To our recently passed on icon and outlaw, we salute you.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Have you heard or seen, I know you have, because you always go in the rabbit holes like I do.
Yeah.
Have you heard or seen any of the conspiracies that Michael's still alive and seen the video footage?
Yeah, I don't believe it. Like how what's the one where they
Breezing that, like leaving a van and going into a hotel in the parking lot?
I don't believe any of that's true. No,
you don't
I
think
don't
he went
believe
like a witness protection thing and was like, I'm out?
I mean, if he was so desperate to do this last performance, to put these tours on, because that's what he lived and breathed for, and he was going to make as much money as he did because he lost so much money, why would you fake your death and then not get that money?
Because of all the allegations.
Yeah, but I just don't see it.
Well, technically, he made a song with Justin Timberlake, didn't he? After his passing?
Is that the hologram thing they did?
Yeah.
That was him. That was him, though.
By the way, they have an amazing thing out in Vegas, like a show that they do out there, and I think it's called Moonwalker.
Maybe.
It might be. I don't remember, but I went and saw it when I was there. Sorry, wife and I were. Let's just say we were doing our Vegas, and we went there, and it was amazing. They have him coming in and like being in a hologram, and like dancing with these younger people or whatever. And the dancing was awesome. They were flying on ropes everywhere and just lasers and lasers everywhere.
That sounds pretty.
It
cool.
was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm pretty sure it was Moonwalker, but I'm not. I don't know. I have to look that up.
So you don't think that Elvis is still alive?
No.
And Tupac?
Elvis wouldn't be alive now, no matter what.
Are you sure?
No,
I think he just went home.
No. Maybe. No, I don't believe so. In fact, they believe that they know who killed Tupac.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll talk about one of these days.
The police did, didn't they?
No. It was actually the guy that if you guys remember the footage of, there's a detective that was on the case that believes that they know who did it. He was actually, I want to say he was a blood, that he's the one that Tupac beat up at that award ceremony or whatever, and that guy ended up killing him.
Huh.
Yeah. This guy is like straight up, but the problem is that guy who killed him, and I can't remember his name, he was actually killed shortly after.
No kidding.
In like some drug-related incident or something like that. So they don't really know, and no one really talks and says stuff. Eventually we'll find out, because I do believe that is the case, and everything he talks about is like legit. It could be verified.
Yeah. I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Next week when you record the train episode, I want you to stop for a second and ask Moody if he thinks Michael Jackson's still alive.
Oh, I know.
I want to know. I want to know what he thinks.
I'm sure he
conspiracy.
does. He probably thinks he's Michael Jackson.
No, he's Bigfoot.
So that was Michael Jackson, folks. That's part 2. Like I said, there was a lot to it. I mean, we probably could have done 3 episodes or an entire podcast based on him.
Yeah.
It's just an icon, and I know a lot of people out there have issues with what he allegedly may have done or not done. But again, let's try to separate, you know what I mean? Let's try to separate what he achieved versus what he may have allegedly done. And
you can hate him, and,
if we can do that.
And you can buy into all that stuff, but damn well that you listened to a Michael Jackson song back in the day, and you and you jammed to it and you danced to it, whether you hate him or not. He's so catchy.
Jam, here come the man. Sorry.
He nothing but hooks, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. So make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to all of our social media channels. Just search for Icons and Outlaws wherever you listen to your favorite podcast and connect with your favorite people. We produce another amazing podcast called The Midnight Train, and if you're into unsolved true crime, the paranormal, or anything mysterious and can laugh at all the craziness of it, we think you'll love it. You can find links to that and other great content we're putting out over at accidentaldads.com. That's accidentaldads.com, our centralized network hub. Lastly, please consider supporting both shows by signing up to be a Patreon producer over at patreon.com/accidentaldads, or you can go to iconsandoutlaws.com and you can find that link there as well, where for as little as $5 a month, you'll get bonus episodes for both shows, exclusive content, and discount codes on merchandise for both shows. Thank you guys so much for listening to our episode on Michael Jackson. And in the immortal words of Michael, quote, "If you enter this world knowing you are loved and you leave this world knowing the same, then everything that happens in between can be dealt with."
You'll never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be? I've been your times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me. Just saying that's okay. Hey baby, do what you please. I am the stuff that you want. I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eye. She touching me so to start. She said there's no turning back. She trapped me in her heart. She likes the boys in the band. She knows when they come to town. Every musician's fan after the curtain comes down. She waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige, who promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. She's saying that's okay. And baby, do what you want. I'll be your night-loving thing. I'll be the freak you can talk. I don't care what you say. I wanna go to a ball. I'll be your everything if you make me a star. She said I had to go home cause I'm real tired to see. Now I ain't sleeping alone, why don't you come with me? I said my baby's at home, she's probably worried tonight. I didn't call on the phone to say that I'm alright. Diana walked up to me, she said I'm all yours tonight. And then I ran to the phone, saying baby I'm alright. I said but unlock the door, cause I forgot the key. She said he's not coming back because he's sleeping with me. No.
Hey there, listener. We hope you enjoyed our song. And remember, you can listen to it anytime you want to on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else you listen to your favorite music. Just look up Icons and Outlaws. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.